It's beginning to look a lot like Newnan time with Harold. Anywhere you laugh, he's the guy with the mustache, throwing a big ol' bash for everyone who needs a new podcast. That's right, you just search Newnan Podcast with Harold, or come visit me on social media at Newnan Time with Harold, or on my website, NewnanTimeWithHarold.com. That's Harold, Harold. To find the funniest stuff in Newnan, just search Newnan Time with Harold, or find our podcast at Newnan Podcast with Harold. It's a new day, Newnan, yes it is. And I am the plethora of bad news coming at you live. Not live at all. This is actually pre-recorded, but it's close to live. I record and then I send it out into the world almost immediately. Oh, you know what I want to start doing? And I thought about this recently. Because I want to start going live on Facebook the same time I start recording, so people can see, hey, this is what Harold does while he records his podcast. I think that would be a really cool idea. It's like there he is with his mustache talking into the microphone, and also he's live on Facebook at the same damn time. How about Gucci? How about Louis? At the same damn time. And I think that's a pretty cool idea, and so I've been thinking about doing that. I'm definitely going to try it and see if anyone gets on there and will watch. I've never gone live on Facebook before with Harold, which is surprising considering how long I've been around. To never have done so seems so foolish. And they say that a man's fool is measured in the things he daren't do instead of the things he can't do. That is from Pride and Prejudice, my favorite movie. Anyways, today we don't have a lot to talk about. It is a Newnan Nugget. And a Newnan Nugget means it's a shorter episode. I've decided that when it's episodes of just me sitting around talking, we will do Newnan Nuggets. When I have a special guest, we will stretch that bitch out. This is a cussing episode today, as has been decided by me. So I apologize if you don't like those bad words, because you know how I feel about bad words. They don't exist. Harold? What do you mean bad words don't exist? I've been told all my life that certain words are cuss words. Well, who told you that? A bunch of grumpy old people who decided a word hurt their feelings. And do we really want to give power to a grumpy old person? Because the same people who are so against cuss words are also the people who, have a problem with people changing their name, and have a problem with pronouns, and have a problem with being told that a word is not okay to say, like the R word. People get all up in but I used to say that all the time. I can call gay people the F-bomb and the other F-bomb, and I can say that people who are dumb are the R word. But this is how cuss words always works. It's just at some point in history, some people decided a word shouldn't be said, and everybody fell for it. So it makes no sense to me that you give in to that. What we shouldn't do, my friends and my loved ones, is we should not use our curse words to hurt each other. We should not use them to beat each other down. Like I will say, man, I feel like shit today. And everyone knows what that means. That means I feel sick. But I will not say, hey, you are a piece of shit. I will not say that to a person because that is mean. And what we want to do is not be mean with our words. What we want to do is be hilarious with them. So if you can be hilarious and say, I'm sick as a shit, Weiler. Harmless and hilarious. But we don't say, you are a piece of shit, Weiler. Because that doesn't make any sense. Anyways, you've heard this rant. I do this rant every month. So I'm on Newnan Times with Harold today, right? The real one. well, I say the real one, the lame one, the boring one, the one that makes everybody fall asleep in all of town, the one that is melatonin for the soul. And I come across a couple of news articles that I would like to read about. Unfortunately, I don't have the subscription, and I was told by someone that if you get in incognito mode, you can visit the websites and you can read all the articles without having to pay for the subscription. I will confirm with you that that is not true. That does not work. It will not open any articles for me, and I'm in incognito mode. Maybe if I use a different browser. So this thing is cool, though. At the very top of the Newnan Times-Herald is a advertisement for perfect arrangement at Newnan Theater Company. And the 4 people in the picture are people that are just delightful, just people that I find wonderful. So that means whoever they cast in this show, which is Jeff, Miranda, Megan, and Will, great job. I love those 4 people. So I'll probably come see that show, and I don't go to Newnan Theater Company shows much anymore. If there's one that really sticks out, I'll be there. But the season sponsors for the Newnan Theater Company are Newnan Times-Herald and Ballard Law Office. So it totally makes sense to have a big old banner at the top. It just, when I got on here to make fun of the website, I did not expect to see Newnan Theater Company stuff brandied on there. So that's cool. Way to go, guys. Even though I don't act there anymore, which I'm sure if I showed up and I did a good job at auditions, they would let me. It's cool to see them doing so well because I spent from the age 18 to the age 34 at that place. So you do the math. It's a lot. And I did a lot to make that place better. And a few things to make it worse. But mainly, in that span of time, I did a lot of things to make it better. So it's really cool to see their shining logo and those shining faces right there, especially for people that I really like. Perfect Arrangement by Topher Payne runs February 6th through 9th and 13th through 16th, 2025. So it's cool to be like, yo, guys, that's what's happening. Check them out. So check them out. I'll be there. I don't know when I'm going to go, but I want to go. I don't know if I'll be there. That's very soon. I have to look at my calendar. One of those weekends I'll be in dad mode. The other one, I think I might be going to an anime con. But you'll know soon enough because if I go to an anime con, I'm going to tell you all about it, baby. What's that? Cowboy, baby, riding a cow through the farm. Cowboy, baby, scooping up a sheep into my arms. And on the Newnan Times-Herald website, here are some of the articles. Ace Pickleball Club to open new location in Peachtree City. Of course, I can't read the full article, but it does say, the Ace Pickleball Club is set to expand its presence in Georgia with a new location scheduled to open in Peachtree City by summer 2025, the company announced Tuesday. Look, I've never played pickleball, but I've heard that it is fun and that it is easier than tennis, which I have played tennis, and tennis sucked. Hated tennis. The fact that you have to serve and land in a very specific spot during tennis was so hard, and it bothered me that even though I could get the ball over the net, that wasn't good enough. It has to land diagonally for the first hit, and I couldn't ever get that. I could never figure out how to do the serve, so I never got to actually play back and forth. I just got to suck at the beginning. So pickleball, though, hey, I hear it's dope. So maybe some pickleballs in my future. Not in Peachtree City, that's for sure. But maybe somewhere. I think there's a pickleball court in Newnan. I've been told that there was, is, and forever will be pickleball in Newnan. So, of course, hilarious. I love Peachtree City. I love Peachtree City doing dumb things. I don't know why the Newnan Times-Herald feels the need to report on Peachtree City getting a pickleball court. Like, that's like them reporting on Peachtree City getting a freaking golf cart. I ruined that joke, guys. I messed it up. It wasn't a good one. I'm not feeling good today. I'm not at my best, but I'm doing my best. And doing your best is just as good as being your best, actually. And I do mean that. But the problem is, I don't think we ever recognize. Now we're getting deep. We're getting philosophical, just like Pride and Prejudice. I don't think we realize when we are doing our best. When people say, I did my best, it's almost always exclusively an excuse as to why someone should forgive them for failing. That's when you hear, I did my best. Well, I did my best. I did my best. It's you trying to tell the world, hey, don't be mad at me. Don't be disappointed in me. Don't tell me that I didn't do well because I'm telling you first that I did my best. You don't really hear it like if I had a really good part in a play and everyone's like, "Oh, you were so good. The way you were Bob Cratchit was so awesome and we loved it." It feels weird to be like, "Well, yeah, I did my best." Maybe it's just me, but it feels like I did my best is used in a sad way so much more often than it's used in a positive way. And I think we need to reverse that. We need to put that thing down, flip it, and reverse it, which is the tagline for Pride and Prejudice. We got to do better about giving ourselves more credit. So let's start saying, "I did my best" just when you did something cool. Just when you get home from work and your work day actually went well and everyone was positive and you had a good experience at work. Be like, "You know what? I think I did my best today. That's awesome. Hell yeah." And then you get yourself something nice. You get yourself some cake or a beer flavored cake. Or a cake flavored beer is what I meant to say. And you drink that. And you enjoy it. A LaGrange man has been charged after reportedly vandalizing the historic Sonoya Water Tower. Jeffrey Shelby, 61, faces charges of property damage after police say he spray painted "I love you Grady" in green letters across the water tower. The investigation began when blah, 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 blah. Footage showed a white male, later identified as Shelby, climbing over a barbed wire fence and ascending the water tower. After the act, Shelby was seen descending and inadvertently revealing his face when his hoodie fell. The 1995 Buick Roadmaster involved in the case was traced back to Shelby, who later confessed to the vandalism. He stated that the act was intended as a message to his daughter because he knew she would recognize the name and understand it was from him. Oh my God, what a badass. Despite the personal nature of his message, Shelby was reminded of the legal consequences of his actions. Who wrote that? What homeschool mom wrote this about the legal consequences of his actions? Blah, blah, blah. The cost to repaint the vandalized section of the water tower is estimated at $2,000. Shelby is scheduled to appear in the City of Sonoya Municipal Court on March 6, 2025. Police warn against vandalism, emphasizing the city's robust surveillance capabilities. So, yeah, he should have gotten caught, and he should have gotten in trouble. I think we can all agree with that. But I'm hoping he won't get in a big trouble, because "I love you, Grady" is just an adorable thing to write. Do I know what it means? Of course not. I have no idea what it means. But I like that it's an inside joke, and I like that it's something that he shares with his kid. But it's weird. I don't know what Grady means. Baby, I'm going to make up with something bad. I was thinking Grady Hospital. Maybe she meant to write Brady and he had a typo. A typo with spray paint. Vandalizing. Oh, so funny. April Anderson named Citizen of the Year. April Anderson has been named the 2025 Citizen of the Year for her extensive community service efforts in Coweta County. Now, unfortunately, even though she's named Citizen of the Year, I can't read the full article because, what do you think? I've been blocked. What does that mean? Let's see if we can find the full article about her being named Citizen of the Year somewhere. She's the owner of Backpack Buddies, which provides food for needy kids on the weekends. She and her husband own Sonoya Coffee and the Mess Hall. Very well deserved. She got $1,000 for being the Citizen of the Year. That's neat. Oh, man. This is something that bothers me about myself. Is I've been heralding it up for 5 years now, right? I've had 2 versions of the page. Both combined, we're talking like 11,000 followers, but some of those are repeats, obviously. I've got videos, I got photos, I got a podcast, I've got a website. But what I didn't do and have Nate done, have not or have Nate, there is only fate. Pride and Prejudice, 1996. What I haven't done is made a difference in the community. Now, it can be argued, Harold, you scraggity ass scragger, which is cussing out of anger, calling me a name. Don't appreciate it. You make the community better with laughter. You bring laughter into the world. Oh, thanks, Santa Claus. But I don't feel like that's enough. What I would love to do at some point, and it's just an effort of laziness that I haven't done more, is I would like to do something called Mustaches across Coweta. And I would like to go around to businesses and sell them for like $1 or $5. I don't know. Sell them mustaches that they can wear, little adhesive mustaches. And every time you buy one, 100% of the money goes to some kind of fundraiser or goes to some kind of donation place. Like, I wouldn't keep any of the profits, but we call it Mustaches Across Coweta. We'd sell mustaches that people wear that they can take pictures with me or just by themselves. But I want the mustaches to look like my beautiful curly one. So it's a little bit more expensive to buy a bunch of adhesive of those, which is part of why I haven't done this idea yet. But we could do more. We could do a big like mustache on a stick, like people use in photo booths, and then I could even write Newnan Time with Harold on the side of it or something. An idea like that would be so cool, but I don't know who is worthy of getting that money, and I don't know how to go about, like, I don't know legally if there's some weird stuff about donating money like that. Do I have to report it on my taxes in a certain way? Like, there's just stuff about it that has kept me from doing it. Mainly, I haven't done it because the idea of going to business to business to business and trying to sell them mustaches makes me feel like I'm going to get rejected. And I don't want to get rejected. I want to get praised, and I want to get people involved. So I haven't done it because I don't want to be rejected. It's the same reason, like, I have my own business, right? I have High Spirits Entertainment. And we do trivia, we do bingo, we do improv shows, we do comedy shows. I feel like there's one other thing. I can do weddings, I can host events. It's stuff that I've done my whole entire life. And what I should do is I should go inside the businesses that I think might accept it, and I should find their owners, and I should give them information. I know that that's the right way to do it. That is the best way. But what I do instead is I put stuff in mailboxes, I mail letters, I send them links and emails. Like, I'm trying to do everything I can to not be rejected to my face. I do not want to be rejected face to face. That makes me nervous. I get so nervous, and I didn't used to be this way. I think it's some leftover bad divorce juju, because I was rejected by a lot of people to my face, people that I had shown my vulnerabilities to and had shown kindness to. They saw the bad sides of me and the good sides of me. I laid it all out there, and they decided that the bad sides were too bad and they wouldn't be my friend anymore. Or I deserved having myself bad talked about. Like, I had a friend, a guy I really considered a really good friend, and I was posting about being depressed or something like that, as I tend to do. And he messaged me and he was like, "Hey, what do you need? I'm so sorry you're struggling." And I said, "What I'd really like is knowing that you're not going to talk bad about me behind my back." And his response was something along the lines of, "Well, I know the kind of person you are now, so I can't make that promise." And that just seems really crappy. That's a really crappy way to be to people. But at this point, everyone who doesn't want to be my friend is not my friend, and that's okay. I have come to a place of peace where I assume that they all have good reasons for that. And if I was being toxic and a bad person, it doesn't matter if I change, and it doesn't matter if I can bring joy into their life now. They decided that that was too much for them. And that's what we do have to do as people. We do have to decide when somebody's toxicity of our city, Pride and Prejudice, is too much. And we have to make efforts to clean out our lives. I do it too. I've done it to people. Um, but it's hard. It's hard when those people are people that pretended like they cared about my mental health and then used it to bad talk me. That part I have a hard time with. And that's not to say they all did that. Some of them did not. Other ones I know for a fact they did it. And that's hard, tough. So I'm afraid of something like that happening to me again. Divorce is messy and gross, but it doesn't have to be. Just be nicer to people and be more honest, which of course I wasn't always honest and I am not always nice to people. But any situation that is a terrible situation, you go, wow, that was so hard. Why was that so hard? There's a version of that situation that is not as hard as you've made it. We like to make, as people, situations a lot harder than they need to be. So just try not to, right? Try to not do that. And you might be doing a little better. You know what we're actually going to do is we're actually going to count this as a full episode because this has gone on for over 20 minutes now. I had a lot more to talk about than I thought I did. Bringing the juice, baby. So this is a full-length episode. This is not a Newnan Nugget. We talked about Newnan Theater Company. We talked about the Newnan Times-Herald. We talked about water towers. And we talked about mustaches across Coweta. And most importantly of anything, you know what we talked about? I'm about to Google it, but don't pretend I didn't do that. We talked about Pride and Prejudice, the second novel by English author Jane Austen, published in 1983, a novel of manners. It follows the character development of Elizabeth Bennet, the protagonist of the book, who learns about the repercussions of hasty judgments and comes to appreciate the difference between superficial goodness and actual goodness. Mr. Bennet, owner of the Longbourn estate in Hertfordshire, has 5 daughters, but his property is entailed and can only be passed to a male heir. His wife also lacks an inheritance, so his family faces becoming poor upon his death. Thus, it is imperative that at least one of his daughters marries well to support the others, which is a primary motivation driving the plot. Pride and Prejudice has consistently appeared near the top list of most loved books among literary scholars and the reading public. It has become one of the most popular novels in English literature, with over 20 million copies sold, and has inspired many derivatives in modern literature. For more than a century, dramatic adaptations, reprints, unofficial sequels, films, and TV versions of Pride and Prejudice have portrayed the memorable characters and themes of the novel, reaching mass audiences. And if there's one thing that I love is when somebody reaches for my mass audience, baby! Oh, did all that just to set up that last line. How did I do it? I am so something. I'm a little shitweiler. Hear me shout. Here is my handle. Here is my spout. Pride and Prejudice.
I die, I die, I die.